Welcome, it's Larry at Grand Canyon Home Supply. We're located in the Scottsdale Air Park here in Arizona. And previously we've previewed a lot of the materials that you'll find available here at Grand Canyon. And so today we're going to start to deep dive into the project side of it. So projects are typically broken into phases. And so we're going to start to talk about a couple of phases. Before we do that, I want to remind you, we are the heart of your remodel projects. So come and see us, and we're here to help you. I have with us today our designer extraordinaire, Eric Rich. And Eric is going to start to talk about a couple of the phases. So Eric, I've been sitting in my home now during the pandemic and looking at those cabinets and floors, and I can't stand to look at them anymore.
Absolutely.
Tell me how I get started. Where do I go first?
Yeah, so, literally, give us a call. We'll set up an appointment. You can come in and we will talk about the scope, of your project. And a lot of people come in and they talk about they want to remodel their kitchen. To them, that means a countertop and backsplash. To me, that means remodel the kitchen. So it's important to define the scope and to find out exactly, because a lot of times the scope involves another room that they're not really even aware of, like flooring or stuff like that. It's a little bit of a larger project than they're thinking in their mind. So get that scope truly defined, find out if they're going to be living there during the project, and if so, how do we break this up into manageable phases so that it can be done at a cost-effective and the least evasive way possible. And then once you kind of get that defined out, the project doesn't seem as daunting as it does when you say, oh, I got to remodel my home. And then the next natural thing that I talk about is budget for that area. And it's so important to know that target initially, because we literally have something for every budget here. I truly believe that, but without knowing it, you don't know in what direction to head. Expectations not met, blah blah, and so I think those are two of the fundamental things to talk about before you even get into the design.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going back to scope, and how do I know whether I can live in the home during the project, or what are some of those considerations? And then what does that do to the overall timeline, whether I decide to live there while you remodel or not?
Right. Yeah, the ultimate scenario, if you're doing flooring throughout the home and bathroom renovations and a kitchen renovation, would be to have that casita obviously in the back, or maybe to be future purchasing the home and living in the other home. Then your timeline is going to be so much quicker to be able to demo an entire home in one fell swoop and do the flooring and do the cabinetry all at once. But if you need to live there during that time, then you really want to dig deep into that scope, find out truly what you're doing in all these rooms. Because a lot of times if you're not changing the footprint of a bathroom or the bathrooms and you're just remodeling it, you can do all the flooring throughout the house up to those shower curbs, up to those tubs, and remodel the kitchen, leave the bathrooms operational for the most part, and then go back there and do those one at a time, or maybe two at a time, but without knowing the scope, it's really hard.
And then recognize if you're going to try and live there during the project, you're probably going to make your timeline drag out, because the trades have to move tools in and out.
Every day, clean up, the timeline's going to be extensive, and the labor of the job, though, they're gonna, if someone can floor a home with no one in it, or floor a home around people,
right? So then, touching on budget, that's one of the things that I think we see people struggle with the most. Exactly. How do you come up with a budget? Are there any guidelines to use, or anything, a way for me to at least get a ballpark budget?
Yeah, sure. There's, House has some budgetary guidelines for home remodels. Costandvalue.com is another place that you can go. The rule of thumb is they say on those sites is like the average kitchen, somewhere between 7 and 12% of the value of your home you can safely put in that kitchen and recoup the majority of that money back, especially if you're planning on staying there a few years. You don't want to under budget a kitchen and have it have appliance packages that don't make sense, or cabinetry that isn't to the level of the home. and vice versa. You also don't want to over.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So.
You know, a lot of times people come in and they want to maybe reface existing cabinets, and if they're of a certain age, you lose out on some of the new features and functions. So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's one of those things where, once again, I really kind of dive deep into those tougher questions. To me, sometimes refacing cabinets is like fixing an automobile, painting an automobile that has dents, and then going back to try and fix the dents afterwards. You know, you really want to find out is the kitchen soft close drawers, dovetail drawer boxes, soft close hinges, banks of drawers where you want them. If you don't have those things, it might not be the best idea to spend that kind of money on countertops, backsplash tile, and whatnot.
Great, thanks. So there you go. If you're unsure where to start, scope and budget are two of the areas.
That's it.
And if you're unsure as to how to really craft those, you know, call us. Come and see Eric, set up an appointment,
Yep.
and we'll be happy to help you through the process.
Absolutely.
So that's it for now. Join us again as we talk about further phases of the project, and that's it. Bye for now.